The minority in Parliament has criticized government for accumulating a $3 billion debt within 100 days in office, even though government promised not to borrow during the campaign.
In campaign, claimed that it will not borrow when it comes to power. We noted that this claim was not possible because even when MPP in 2001 became the biggest beneficiary of debt forgiveness in our history, by taking the country to HIPC. It went on borrowing spree before the NPP left office in January 2009. The debt to GDP ratio had gone up to nearly 40% as a result of excessive borrowing by the NPP after the debt were very much forgiven. So we in the NDC knew that the claim by the NPP saying that it will not borrow was a great deception, which most people have failed to realize. The NPP added another record in borrowing. In less than 100 days of being in office, the NPP has exceeded this notorious feat and deception again. The NPP now holds another new record in our history as the party has borrowed almost over $3 billion within its 100 days in office. This is the world record. This is equivalent to about 13.5 billion in 100 days, averaging about 135 million cedis a day. Within the 100 days, every Ghanaian owns additional 500 Ghana cedis.
Right, let's do some analysis on this. We have Kojo Nkrumah, MP for Ofuasi Ayirebi, is joining us. He was part of the government transition team. Hello, Mr. Nkrumah, how are you? It's great to see you again.
Good to see you.
You're looking good, sir.
Trying to follow your footsteps.
Oh, come on. Now, the minority says that you borrowed in excess of $3 billion in, $3 billion in less than 100 days. Is this a true reflection of the financial commitments your government have put us through?
No, I was hoping somebody would ask them where they got that $3 billion figure from. We have done a debt swap of $2.25 billion. And then we have also done a book building of about 1 billion Ghana cedis. But ask our friends in the minority who make this charge, how much has been added to our debt stock today? Zero. Because the transaction that we did is a debt swap. We traditionally had foreign investors participating in only medium to long-term debt instruments. In 2015, when the NDC was in power, we introduced a new measure that we call the book building approach, which allowed external investors or non-resident investors to participate in medium-term, sometimes short-term debt instruments. Indeed, from 2006, if you look at some of those who have been buying our debts, you find that some of the organizations that have still participated in the recent bond issues have been participating. What we have done in this transaction is to solve a problem that we started talking about right from the State of the Nation address. That problem was that our debt was now becoming an overhang. What do? You try to reduce the rate, you try to elongate or lengthen the tenor, so that what you need to service on a month-by-month or year-by-year basis is reduced. It reduces the pressure on the books, the pressure on the currency. And so what we've done in this transaction is to do a $2.25 billion debt swap, swapping short-term expensive debt for longer-term cheaper debt. It hasn't added to our debt stock. And I very much know that my friends in the minority know this. But they are doing this, and today if you look at the platform on which they did this, they said that the NPP has been 100 days in office and is seeking to tell a story that says that we have done well in 100 days. And therefore, they want to tell a counter story. This is a grand design to throw some dust in the atmosphere.
So
to take away from the kind of commendation that is coming about the confidence in the economy, the measures that are being taken to bring back accelerated growth and jobs, and the confidence that the new government...
Stabilization of the currency and all the 103 claims that the NPP...
It is an exercise to obfuscate.
Now, so this, I reckon that this negates all the conflict of interest allegations that the minority is making, especially citing the issuance of the bonds and mentioning one Templeton who is, they claim is related in business transaction with the finance minister.
The easiest thing to do is to throw up an allegation, conflict of interest. And then you ask them, where is the conflicting interest? Now, first of all, the organization they talk about, Franklin Templeton, is an organization that since 2006 has been participating in buying Ghana's debt instruments since 2006. Indeed, prior to this transaction, they were holding close to about $2 billion worth of Ghana's debt instruments. In this particular transaction, the book building transaction, they ended up investing. They were one of a number of organizations. They were not the only one of a number of organizations who took up this 2.25 billion that was issued. Now, when the NDC says conflict of interest, and you ask them for the evidence, they say that one of the directors of one of the funds of Franklin Templeton, the Honorable Trevgain, also happens to be a director in Enterprise Insurance, a company in which the finance minister's investment company has shares. And therefore, when you put that together, there's conflict of interest. Is
that not fair to infer conflict of interest from that kind of arrangement?
Show the conflicting interest. This director that they even tried to point to has never been involved in all the transactions that FT has done, even in the times when they have bought our debt instrument. In this particular transaction, he was not even involved. But I tell you that nobody should be dissuaded by this. It is a grand design to throw up issues so that tonight, while we should be talking about some of the great things that the government is doing, the first 100 days, the direction in which we are going, we'll have to spend time trying to interrogate this thing that they have thrown up, which they know very well is just up there to occupy.
So tell me your story now that you're here. First 100 days, what have you shown as the direction going forward?
And as Ambassador Akebi Asante mentioned, 100 days is a short period of time, but in this 100 days, we have shown commitment to the major policy commitments that government announced during the campaign period. We talked about decentralizing investment in infrastructure so that we can bring growth and development on the ground. We said we'll do it through an infrastructure for poverty eradication program. Today, look at the 2017 budget. We have allocated the CD equivalent of $1 million per constituency into this program. We talked about the fact that we were going to, first of all, restore the social intervention. We are a pro-capitalist government. But in the Kufuor administration, we managed the economy so well that we managed now to do social intervention programs, health insurance, school feeding program, etc.
That's right.
Many of them were suffering. We said we're going to restore them to the original place and add more social interventions. In this budget, we have restored them, and now we have added new social interventions, free SHS, Zongo Development Fund, and a few others. We also said that the major challenges that the Ghanaian economy was facing, a debt overhang, revenue targets that were not being met, expenditure in discipline that was leading to huge fiscal deficits and adding to our debt stock, were going to be cured through this budget.
And that has been cured?
Despite the fact that we inherited huge budget deficits on cash and commitment basis, you will find that in this budget, we have taken steps to correct all of these things. A lot of great things have occasioned in this first budget. I mean, 100 days is still a short period of time, short. But it's a good start. We should encourage government to get on the right path and to execute the budget as well as it's been crafted so that we all get the benefit.